a history, but then you don't know the dates. And when I actually began to work on this project, I realized that men and women went through history differently. That men were involved in the nitty-gritty of planning and sometimes saying, "हाँ सी जहाज़ में आया सी," I'm just saying in Sindhi now. So if you are, for instance, a very some of the members of my community that you would have seen, which means it is a particular subgroup which has quite sort of westernized और आमिल उसको कहा जाता है जो अमल करता है. So जो हुक्मों के अमल करते थे, people who were in the bureaucracy and education, very much like the caste in Uttar Pradesh. So that community you will find there sometimes in bureaucracy, and a majority of the rest of the community were shopkeepers, mercantile people, and so on. And then he would have been given a commensurate important position in Delhi or in Bombay and so on. But that has not been true of everybody. In examining these responses, I was quite interested not only in the women who undergo the history of partition, which is not to say that as a witness generation, I did not have anything to do with partition. But in my generation, women were also responding to the patriarchal nature of the Sindhi community in very sort of specific ways. So, community. I was recently at the Hyderabad Literature Festival where there was a special focus on academic work, and all of them have married outside the community. Right? Something that Nivedita Menon then quoted in her book when she wrote about seeing like a feminist, and these are, I actually came to know of a writer in the border of Gujarat. Someone said to me that as a writer, interesting, because the post-partition Sindhi community is entirely urban. Right? The literature is also very urban. So when somebody mentions to you that, he did, and if somebody says it's very much like Marathi India, like he's a rural Sindhi, and people are talking about this writer. So I go to that region, especially to meet this writer. And I go and meet him, and we get to know each other, and it's a region that clearly is contiguous with Nirona, Bani, that northern part of Kutch. They are contiguous places. So people from those places, तो तब तक तो ऊँट लेके लोग चले. And this writer met me, and I realized that this is so interesting. He writes in Sindhi. He's a Sindhi writer, but occupation, he's a pastoralist, right? He's a Catholic. In that entire region, he's the only quote-unquote literate person. And first writer, so to speak, in a region that's imbued by oral tradition. Took my aunt and she said, "Saal to mujhe yaad nahi," right? Which is to go through history but not know them. Another very important point happened, which is that field work not only read out a story. And the story is that, the famous earthquake happened in Kutch in 2001. The story said it happened because women have become very free. They watch television, and therefore this is God's revenge upon the region. I heard that story, and I was not comfortable, but obviously I wasn't going to say anything. So I kept quiet. I said to him, "Bha," as in brother. I said, "Bha, how do I go to this place? How do you think I should?" And he said to me, I learned the art of negotiating, very difficult situation. And I know कि जब काम निकलवाना होता है, छोटी छोटी चीजों में वक्त जाया नहीं करते. हाँ, and I knew that यहाँ से मुझे काम निकालना है. So field work is also very much like negotiation. It is like navigation, and so I sort of ignored it. But I never forgot that. I never forgot the way that those words were articulated, almost with, and it's a strange combination of some resentment, some admiration, but very much constructing you in a gendered sort of a manner. Be that as it may, I make a few visits to Bani. I get to know the region a little bit. At some point I decide that I want to stay here for a longer time and I want to begin my field work. Now Bani is literally the edge of the border. And some kind of slides we can start looking at, and who define, they are all Sunni Muslim communities, who define are unfamiliar. So for instance, Mutwa, Raisi Pota, Hale Pota, Sama, Sumra, Lodha. You will not hear these except in Kutch and in Tharpaka region of Sindh. Each of these will have its distinct embroidery. In each of these, the women would be wearing what is called kanjri, which is a certain kind of kurta made of that embroidery, which she would have embroidered herself until she got married and brought it with her. The entire, what is considered as Kutchi embroidery, its finest specimen is in this region. All of it is done quietly at home. You will not see these women anywhere. You will not see them outside home. As somebody who was doing field work in that region, my entire entry into that region, my understanding, my introduction to various aspects was entirely through men. And meeting the women was like this prize you would not get until you had spent so much time and you. और हमारे यहाँ जो बैठक है, जो मेल बैठक होती है, उसको हम सिंध में हम ओताक कहते हैं. You, it says beyond the otak, which means when I managed towards the otak and went inside the quarters of where the women are. So before I begin the talk, I think I'll just quickly run through the photographs. This particular photograph is in one of the very poorer communities. There are many communities, some are slightly well-to-do, some are not. This is a very poor one called Pathan. They are called Pathan. Now, whether this Pathan has the same with Pathans as we know in UP, Delhi, I'm not very sure. I don't think it is. Right? And the community is called Jhararwadi. Let's go to the next one. Children of that, I will not have any photographs of women because they were not allowed to be photographed. They did not want them and nobody else wanted them, so I do not have any. But little children will not mind. So these are children of Jhararwadi, one of the small hamlets of Bani. Let's go further. This is Mutwa. I'm talking about Mutwa women. Mutwa and identities in this region, and they make the finest embroidery. And this is very prestigious, this particular embroidery. So I will talk about the women from this particular clan. Let's go further. Just to give you an idea, can you see ये हम सिंधी में इसे कचहरी कहते हैं, जिस एक तरह से बैठक होती है और बैठक में सिर्फ मर्द होते हैं. Can you see? I'm the only woman, and this is how they would. You see them wearing ajrak, and right, and you see them wearing those stoles. A lot of affection, lot of warmth, but you cannot. You can't. Yeah. Go further. This is just a general scene from Kutch as you enter. Right. These are also Mandharis. So you'll find Rabari, you'll find Jat. And you will be able to identify people from the colors and from the embroidery. This is just me at a time when they trusted me and they asked me to wear their clothes. You can see I was much. I think that's it. Okay, we can shut this. Thank you so much. Yeah. All right. Allow me then to kind of give the more formal talk I wanted to give today. So I call this traversing the otak. Just reminding you once again, I already talked about otak as in a better, male better in the Sindhi language. But it's a distinct language we men speak. And it has registers that cannot be reduced to a single meaning of submission of voices. This is one of the themes in the talk that follows based upon long-standing fieldwork in the state of Gujarat, India. Practicing fieldwork from 2000 to 2008 language, from 2008 to 2000, an act of translation, but not without the linguistic language such as Hindi to English and non-versatility. To Pakistan in 1947.
ऐसे करो, यू आर लाइव कह तो रहा यू आर लाइव जाओ 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 चलाओ खोल लो